Okay. I went home, did some stuff. You saw a movie in this classroom or went to go watch some volleyball. And now it's like 10 p.m. I gotta finish this, prep my classroom, write my sub plan, and then I get to go sleep on a boat. So by the time that you're watching this, I'll be in the Channel Islands, hopefully hunting fish underwater. I hope everything makes sense. I kind of forget where I left off. I think we've done all of the unit exam stuff, unit prep, last study goals, stars, and I guess if not too bad. Um, so now this will be your first test return day. And this would be an important one for me to attend. I do feel bad that I can't be here today. Um, you know that I like to introduce new procedures, and I'd like to be here to walk you through all of this. But instead, you'll have to make do with my much more handsome substitute, Mr. Archuleta. I guess you'll be in good hands. Um, so I think I said this at the end of the last video, but I want to make sure that all your cell phones are put away. The sub is going to confirm that before we go on, so if you need to pause here. All the way put away, please. And in a little while, things are going to get kind of hectic. There's a bunch of things that are going to happen, and I'll walk you through all of them. So I want to tell you what to expect. I'll give you all the steps. Then I'll walk you through them, and we'll pause at all the appropriate moments for all this thing to work out. So things that are going to happen, but not quite yet. Papers are going to get passed back. I'll need student volunteers to do that. It's important that when you get those papers back, you keep them all year. It says in the front of the classroom, it says in your syllabus, just so that we're clear, there will be points at the end of the year for having kept all of your papers throughout the year. So when we pass back homework, you want to make sure you keep that. Also, you want to hold on to that because I make mistakes all the time. My TAs more rarely, but they also make mistakes. And the good news is if you have the evidence, you're going to get the grade that you deserve. So you want to make sure that you keep all your papers for your benefit so that you can catch my errors and correct them. Then we're also going to pass back, or other students are going to pass back, your exam papers. And these you will not keep. These exam papers you will use to see what you did wrong, and then you'll turn them back to us, and they'll be counted before you leave. And it's important that we're all clear that you can't photograph them or paraphrase them or copy any. They're all, secure documents. But what you can do is keep track of your mistakes and keep track of your scores. You want to keep track of your scores because I blow it. We sometimes have to migrate grade books. Neo's been a big problem for us, so I have a feeling that we're going to rebuild the website a few times. So it's important for you to keep those papers for your benefit in case I mess up some of your records. It's also important for you to know where you've gone wrong. If you're really bad at math, if you're really blowing it on a certain type of chemistry, you want to keep track of that so that you can study that stuff a little bit extra for the AP test and for the finals. Anyway, I'll walk you through how to calculate your grades. There's a formula on the whiteboard, but I'll explain how to do that. You'll also see all of your curves. Make sure that you record your grade and the curve for your period. The curve is unique for each period. Then you'll have some time to walk up, check the keys. They should be posted at the top of the whiteboard. You can keep track on blank paper where you've gone wrong. You're allowed to keep track of topics. If it looks like you're copying content, we might tar and feather you. But if it seems like you're doing really badly on Rule of 70, for example, then you should write down that you did badly on Rule of 70 or that you need to focus on your scientific notation or whatever. After you've looked at the key for a while, you'll record those topics that you had problems with. Again, no photographs. I will go over how to appeal if you feel that the TAs didn't grade you correctly. You can appeal that. Then you'll turn everything back up to the front. We'll count them. Everything will get put away. And then you'll be done for the day. So I hope all of that makes sense. If you have any questions, you could pause now to ask each other, my TAs, or my substitute. And assuming that you didn't just pause, your instructions for passing things back. In the front of the room, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in front of that, there's a stack of papers. Papers that you'll hand back to all of the students. If a student is absent, you put their papers in the corresponding period in this thing, which lives over by the windows at the front door. If a paper has no name, you put it in the box right next to it that says no name. So absent students go back to that thing. No names go into the no name box. Everything else should be handed back to students. If you find there was an error in recording your grade on EDU, you can write a little note at the top and put it in the stragglers box so that by giving me back the evidence and explaining the problem, I can correct however we've misrecorded your scores. Otherwise, you put them away, keep all of those things all year. We're also going to pass back the multiple choice exams, Scantrons, and the free response questions. If anybody's absent, papers are always returned to the appropriate corresponding folder. Period 5 multiple choice, period 5 free response question. They're up there by the periods. Should be obvious. And I'm going to ask that we pause this video until all papers have been passed back. And when they've been passed back, I'll be back to give you other instruction. So please pause now to pass out papers and then come on back. I'm assuming papers have all been passed back now. So if all of you are back at your desks with your homework papers to either put away or put in the stragglers box for corrections, and your multiple choice and your free response. If you're missing something, don't worry about it. I'm sorry about the hassle. We'll deal with it when I get back. If you have everything in front of you, here's how you calculate your test score. There's a small number in pink on the edge of your Scantron. I'll show you what it looks like. It looks like that. And at the top of your essay paper, there is another number. It looks like that. Double the free response, add it to your Scantron, and that's your total. So a 6 on the free response doubles to a 12, plus a 10 on the multiple choice brings your total to 22. Then you'll divide that by the curve in each of your periods. I don't know what they are, they're not in front of me, but they're written on the whiteboard. So it'll be 28, 29, 30, depending on your period. Again, double the free response, add the multiple choice, take that total and divide it by the curve for your period, and that's your percentage score on this exam. Make sure that you record that. Don't freak out if you did badly. There's a lot of room to improve. Remember, you're not allowed to photograph or keep those papers. And I'm going to stop this video soon so that you can get up, compare your answers against the keys. I'd like the substitute to make sure that we have about 10 minutes left or more, and then restart the next video. So when this one finishes, you can get up, see what you did wrong, and then return to your desks with at least 10 minutes to go.